Well, mine's back up anyway. Oh, sorry.
Hey.
You didn't tell me you were recording. I was in there talking.
I'm recording now.
Cool.
I'm recording now. Hey, y'all. Guess what? No music.
We're about to bring you the biggest football preview show in the history of big football preview shows.
The biggest ever.
Biggest ever.
Ever. See, here's what happened, folks.
Yeah.
A few months ago, we had the crazy just blessing of getting Oliver Miller. Yes, the Oliver Miller.
Oliver Miller.
On this podcast. And we had a great time with him. Talked Razorback stuff, talked his history, told his story a little bit, told NBA, all that kind of stuff. And then sent him a message afterwards, and he said, "God, I said, thanks for coming on." He said, "Man, thanks for having me. I enjoyed it. Bring me back on. Let's talk football." You ain't even got to ask, homie. You got to ask. Like, don't pencil that in. Use a pen.
Write in an ink.
Pinning that in. We're writing it in.
Put it right here. We'll tattoo it right here.
It's going to happen. It's tattooed on Clint's arm.
Yeah.
So guess what? We're doing the preview of the Razorback football schedule. It's Big C, Bigger T, and the one and only Big O. How about that? How about that?
Boom!
1, 2, 3, 4. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you will change his name. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you will change his name.
Hey, everybody, it's the Big C and Bigger T podcast, and boy, I'm excited for this one, y'all. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are out there in this wide world. Listening to this, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Apple or Spotify or wherever. And hey, wherever in the world you are, we're over like Big O. We got people in the UK watching us and listening to us, man. We don't know where these people are coming from. But anyway, I'm joined as usual with my man Big C, Clint Clark. Clint, how you doing? Well, I don't care. We got Big O.
I know. I was surprised you even talked to me. I'm playing spades on my phone, so y'all talk about whatever.
Big O, how you doing, buddy? It's great to have you back on the show.
Good.
The last time we had you on, it was during we talked a lot. You told us some great stories and just about your playing time and things like that. But one of the biggest things that I think Clint and I both got from people that were watching, because the baseball game was going on while we were recording. And so we had to take a few woo pig stops, when things were happening. And the thing I got from everybody was, man, he's a huge Hog fan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do you expect? I mean, the guy was, Mr. Everything for the basketball team. He still roots for him. That's his squad, right?
Gotta show love who gave me love, so always.
Now, have you gotten more like as a follower of Arkansas sports as you've gotten older, or were you always like a huge fan, even when you're playing the NBA? Did you see Arkansas win a big game and then go trash talk one of your teammates?
I pretty much kept up. I just wasn't as vocal. Well, I probably was vocal on Facebook, but once I figured out Twitter, and then a lot of Arkansas, most of my followers are Arkansas, so I just pretty much got involved, and I'm just, I love it.
No, and you're a treat on Twitter. If you're not following Big O on Twitter, you're doing Twitter wrong. You ain't got it right.
You might as well not even have a login.
Yeah, just delete the little bird app off your phone. You don't deserve to be on it.
That's right. No, he is a great follow. And how's the golf game going?
I'm at single digit now, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So just keep grinding.
Well, after you were on the show, you said some nice things. I guess you enjoyed it or you wouldn't be back. But one of the things you said was, bring me on, let's talk football.
Right. Arkansas basketball legend. They were going to talk. No, we're not talking basketball. Who cares?
We're going to talk football.
I mean, what's the sport ever done for you, Big O? Am I right?
Hey, and so
I always supported them when I was there. So, I support them now. I've always supported the Hogs.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a Florida State fan, and then I became a Hog fan because I was Deion Sanders watching him back in the day. But, I'm a Hog for life, so let's go.
Well, we became Hog fans watching you, so that's what's so cool about this.
We're playing against Texas. Of course I'm going to watch. I don't care. If we had water polo against Texas, I'm going to watch so we can beat them. It's like watching Derek Jeter, hey. He said, what a kid asked him, what's the first team that you want to beat? And he said, Boston. So I'm like him, Texas.
That's right, yeah.
Now, how fast would you have gotten from the stands to the field? Now, you'd have been on the field already when they stormed the field against Texas.
What's that?
When the fans stormed the field against Texas in football last year, I was like, man, how fast would a Big O got out of the stands to storm the field? And I'm like,
I don't think I would have done that.
Well, you'd already been on the field. Big O don't have to sit in the stands. Big O gets
I'll
on the sideline.
probably in a suite somewhere, enjoying the game with a cocktail, and
That's right.
I'm let the students storm the fan. I'm too old for that.
That's right. I don't blame you there, man. So here's what we want to do, Big O. We were thinking, me and Clint were talking. We're like, well, what's the best way we can kind of preview this season? So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of work our way through the schedule.
All right.
We're going to kind of give our prediction on what we think, because I kind of did this the other day, just kind of, on my own. I was actually talking to a buddy of mine, and he just kind of went through it real quick. And I had one number in my head before I started, but by the time I got to the end of the schedule, I was like, that number's changed a little bit. So I want to see what that's like for y'all. Okay, so
all right.
I don't know if you've looked at the schedule very closely or not.
Don't tell us your number yet. I'm
not going to.
We all know I don't do research, so let's go.
And mine may change as we go through this, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I want everybody to know this is water. I'm just advertising my new cup.
Big O.
Oh man.
It's water. It's no alcohol. I'm gonna take alcohol for the season.
So week 1, the Hogs are playing Cincinnati Bearcats.
Oh yeah, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati finished, what were they, 4th last year? Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Luke Fickell's their coach. They had a stud quarterback. They lost him. But they have a guy that was his backup. Then they have a guy that was his backup that transferred out somewhere else and now is transferred back. Okay, so apparently, and from what I hear, they're competing. I think Cincinnati in the coaches poll, Clint, do you remember what they were ranked? They're ranked like right one ahead of us.
I think 22nd. Yeah, 22nd.
And we're 23rd. Yeah.
So we're ranked 23 right now?
Yeah,
yes,
we're
sir.
23 in the coaches poll.
So the first game is going to be 22 versus 23.
Yeah.
At home.
At
home. SEC Nation is going to be there. And Cincinnati lost more than just Ritter. I think Vegas has us as like about a touchdown favorite.
I feel since we ended on a hot note. Home opener. I think we're used to the last couple of years not doing too good on home openers.
Yep.
So I feel this year is the year that we're gonna win. Arkansas over Cincinnati.
Got the win.
Yeah,
I have this as a win. I think,
home opener.
Cincinnati has never done good against an SEC offensive line. I mean, I think our offensive line is just going to overpower them. We can run on them when we want. And I think that's the difference. I think Arkansas wins comfortably.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. I think we finally have the depth of athletes to play a team like this. Also, I think they're going to be trying to figure out their quarterback. They also lost 11 starters from last year. So they're going to be figuring out some things, and I'm sure they recruited well. I mean, Cincinnati's no longer a cellar dweller team or a second-rate team. They are a competitive team.
Yeah.
But I think this Arkansas team is going to have something to prove right away, and I think we'll win that one. So then week 2, we have the Gamecocks coming in.
That's a conference game, right?
Yep.
South Carolina. Shane Beamer from the he's from the Georgia. He's from the Kirby Smart coaching tree also. Of course, he's also has got his dad's coaching tree, I guess, Frank Beamer. But they have a new quarterback, Spencer Rattler, which I personally think is overrated. But he's the transfer from Oklahoma. And a lot of people would say they're an improving team. What do y'all think about South Carolina?
Here's why I'm not worried about South Carolina. And then there's one reason. I read there was an article that came out at Saturday Down South that ranked the quarterbacks 1 through 25, the top 25 quarterbacks. KJ Jefferson was number 8. Spencer Rattler was number 4. KJ Jefferson has seen that. Mm-hmm. And KJ Jefferson will take that very, very, very personally. And I project a huge game by KJ Jefferson. And I don't think it's going to be close either.
Okay.
I looked at the schedule earlier, and to be honest, I feel that we're going to be undefeated going into the A&M game. So I feel we're going to win against Carolina and Missouri State. And I think we're just going to go. There's going to be a different year this year. I mean, we beat them last year, right?
Mm.
But I think this year is going to be a different year. I feel that we're just going to be undefeated. So we're going to be 3-0 until we get to the Classic, because, those next 2 games and I'm sorry to jump ahead, but
that's all right.
I feel that, once we get to A&M and Alabama, that's when the 2 tests going to get in.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think Missouri State's interesting because Bobby Petrino is coming back.
Yeah.
Right.
That's they'll probably call that the Jessica Durrell Bowl or something. I have no idea. But maybe the Wrecked Harley Bowl.
Yes, right. Wrecked Motorcycle Bowl.
Get an insurance company to sponsor it.
I guarantee you there'll be some fans show up in those neck braces.
Oh yeah, with a black eye.
He did the press conference. So South Carolina, all of us have a win there. Missouri State, all of us have a win there. They just that's the one game this year that just talent wise, they're not going to be able to stay on the field. So you got the neutral site game, Texas A&M back at AT&T Stadium. We won it from them last year with won the trophy finally. We always have a good crowd there. We'll have a good crowd again.
Both teams will probably be undefeated.
And
ranked pretty high.
A&M
probably a 50 of coin flips chance that the College Game Day would be there. It's always a possibility.
And A&M had a good and pretty good recruiting class. The question is, can Jimbo figure out quarterback? You know, to be the quarterback guru, he sure has struggled finding a quarterback. You know, Jameis Winston's is the only one he's really had.
Yeah, I mean, and I've never been like, if you listen to Marcus Elliott on Drive Time Sports, you'd think Jimbo was a combination of Nick Saban, Bear Bryant, and Urban Meyer all in one.
Yeah.
Not that he kicks players, but I don't know.
So we lost 2 key wide receivers, right?
Yeah, lost Tyson Moores and Traylon Burks. Because Tyson, I think, was the number 2 receiver coming in. Now we did get a 5-star transfer from from Oklahoma, Jaden Hazelwood, or is it Jalen?
Jalen Hazelwood, and then
now, I mean, Pittman said it in the press conference the other day. He's not lived up to his hype coming out of high school. He goes, he knows it too, and he's got a chip on his shoulder. And I think he came to Arkansas with some of the proofs. And also, Matt Landers, correct?
Yeah.
Transfer from Toledo from Georgia is apparently turning a lot of heads. So we got 2 new transfers in. And plus, you got to think about it. Ideally, you get better year after year.
Right.
Yes. So you got to think Jackson.
Have you heard of Matt Landers yet, Big O?
Huh?
Have you heard talk about Matt Landers yet?
No.
He's a kid. He's interesting to me for several reasons. First of all, when I first heard about him, he started out at Georgia when Pittman was there.
Okay.
But he didn't do a whole lot. And he transferred to Toledo and put up some pretty good numbers at Toledo. And then he transferred here for his last year. He's 6'5" and apparently can run like a crazy man. Is real good with the long ball. He every time they talk about how you're going to replace Burks, his name has come up. You know, they got Santanga, who's a stud freshman out of Fayetteville, who's like all Mr. Track, you know, like setting state records on the track, you know, in track in the spring.
It doesn't matter how fast you go if you don't have no hands.
That's true. You're right.
That's the same boat.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
but you know, they have all these other guys. They think, you know, Mike could, but they keep bringing this Landers guy up, and I think Pittman saw something in him at Georgia that he thinks he's going to be a big time contributor now. And so I think between him and that Hazelwood guy, Hazelwood was a 5-star Oklahoma recruit. And I forget how many, he caught like 30 something passes at Oklahoma last year. Of course, they were
39, keep sticking them in.
They were up and down on their quarterbacks or something. And he got hurt, I think, maybe, or something like that. But anyway, he transferred in. One of his high school coaches was our Jimmy Smith, our running back coach. So that was one of the reasons he came here. But so yeah, we're gonna miss Traylon Burke, but that's the biggest question: is who gets those catches.
What about did the offensive line change? Did we get better? Did we lose people? With the offense that we had last year, with Jefferson being the running quarterback, and being that we had 2 beast running backs back there in the backfield, or will we have a lineman that be able to sustain all through the year to protect Jefferson and to, you know, open up the holes for our running backs and for him?
Yeah. Well, you return everybody but your starting left tackle and your 6th man. Because Arkansas last year would bring Ty Clary off the bench. It didn't matter who got hurt. He was the next guy in. So you're replacing Luke Jones right now is penciled in at the starter left tackle. He's been around forever. And Tyquise Crawford, he's been filling in a lot at right tackle when Wagner's been hurt, but he may start at left tackle. And so I think that's your 6.
I think Luke Jones has pretty much solidified his spot at left tackle from the way they're talking. He's a Central Arkansas guy that originally went to Notre Dame and then was it Notre Dame or Michigan, Clint? You remember?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. And then transferred it down. He's played a couple of different positions on the line, but I think he's doing real well at left tackle. You still got your left guard, your center, which your center, is really good. Stromberg's, he's up for, he's on the watch list for
The Remington watch list.
Yeah, the Remington watch list.
I never was on that.
Yeah. Your right guard is good. Dalton Wagner's your returner at right tackle, but he's been injured a little bit. But they got a lot of their guys have changed their body a lot. Some of them have added weight that needed to, like Stromberg. When he came in, he was like at 280. Now he's about 310 or 320, somewhere in there. But then they've got some guys that were like at 360 that are down to like 330 that are moving around a lot better. So they're getting a good even kill on that line. They think the line's going to be a positive. Running back wise, for the start of the season, Dominique Johnson's probably not going to play against Cincinnati. However, they're saying Rocket Sanders, he's the guy that they switched from receiver to running back last year. He wore number 5, didn't he, Clint?
Yep.
He has improved so much that they're talking like he may get 50% of the carries, and then all the other running backs get split the other 50%.
I'm not really worried about those positions. So we pretty much I just want our line to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So Jefferson can be healthy at least, 80% of the season, because, he's a big guy. He runs, he takes a lot of hits. And, our running backs have had problems with injuries as well. I just want to be able, to protect, those guys be protected and to last throughout the year, and do what they need to do. Now, on defense, I'm not really worried about our defensive line or our linebackers. I'm pretty much worried about secondary some of the times because, when we reach a team with a good quarterback that has a good arm or that can make good reads, it always bites us. But, but then again, those guys, they catch on quick, and then before you know it, we get an interception. You're like, damn, where were you at the whole game? You know what I'm saying? So I feel that A&M is going to be a true test.
You're right.
I would love to see us beat A&M in Alabama, but I just want to be realistic. I feel we get one out of them, but I would love for it to be Alabama because I'm gonna be at that game. But I would love for us to be A&M as well, but I'm not gonna be greedy. I'm just saying we're gonna win one out of the 2. We'll be 1-1.
See, and I like where your head is on that. I'm gonna disagree with you though, because I really it all depends on the quarterback situation at A&M. Do they start Hayes King, who I would, because what I saw of Max Johnson last year, he doesn't seem to have the it, if that makes sense. So I think Hayes King's gonna be the quarterback. I think I just feel different about this year. I really do. And I think we're gonna get both of them. I really do. I think Alabama's beat us so many times in a row. I think the last coach that beat them at the University of Arkansas, believe it or not, is Houston Dale Nutt. So
you think we win both of them?
I think we win both of them.
Okay.
I really do.
I can see 100,000. Well, not 100, but I can see about 80,000 running on the field for Alabama game.
We got to get them eventually. And this, I'm just telling you, my feeling is this team is just built different. This Arkansas team is built different, and there's depth. There really is.
Right.
Now, all this is predicated on one thing. That is Kenneth staying healthy.
Exactly.
That is KJ Jefferson staying healthy. I said on this podcast last year, I'm like, they're going to have a really good year if KJ is special. And I think we can all agree KJ Jefferson is special.
He played a couple of games injured, but I don't, I want you healthy because I know when you're healthy, I know we have 95% of the chance to win, when you're happy.
No,
So-
no, and you say if you can go into going like a site like Saturday Down South and you have the number 8 ranked quarterback,
Mhm.
and then I realistically look at that and go, no, I think he's better. Like I think he's better than Spencer Rattler.
Mm.
I mean, who would we rather have at quarterback, Spencer Rattler or KJ Jefferson?
I'll take KJ.
Yeah, I mean all day long and twice on Sunday. So I think we get both of them now, but it depends on how healthy we are. If we're healthy, and I think we got the depth that we don't have to be perfectly healthy, but we need to, but KJ needs to be healthy for sure.
Yeah, we all agree on that. he
Yeah.
needs to be healthy.
Yeah, for sure, man. Especially the way he's. What I love too, and it happened, wasn't the A&M game last year where he went out injured, and then they brought in Hornsby to run the ball a little bit, and he got to a third down, and KJ comes in, gets the first down, kind of like, I got you, little brother, and he put his head down. He was injured, he was hurting, but he put his head down, got the extra yards, got the first down, and sealed the game for us. And that just, to me, that showed his just where he is a leader. I think that's going to be even better this year. I still, and I think you're right on, Big O, especially when you talk about playing teams like A&M and Alabama, is the line that always makes a difference, right? I mean, that's what makes them good recruiters. They got those 5-star D linemen, or 5-star offensive linemen. I just think, man, we played Alabama so good last year, and I really want to write a W beside the Alabama score, game. But I'm gonna have to put an L next to that one. I just don't know if we're gonna have the firepower, and I'm just afraid too that they've reloaded.
See, here's what I really hope is that Arkansas and Alabama both come into this game undefeated. It will be the biggest football game the state of Arkansas has seen in forever.
Now, we both undefeated. I can see game day in Arkansas.
No, I really can. It could be now. It's not going to be easy because, like I said, at this point, you beat Cincinnati, South Carolina, and A&M.
Yeah,
and also Missouri State. But I mean, you walk in that game
top 5 team in the nation by then,
huh? Yeah, how high?
Top 5,
Probably
top 7, top 5, somewhere.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I mean, it'll be a top 5 matchup.
I bet you we can all agree on this. The Alabama game would be based on the momentum from the A&M game.
Oh yeah.
We go out and we just have a hellacious game against A&M. I feel that we can carry it into the next week against Alabama.
Yeah.
And if we slip up and lose against A&M, I feel sorry for Alabama because it's going to piss us off.
Yeah.
And you don't like to piss off a Razorback. Them some mean ass animals. So
Yeah.
I mean, I would love for us to go 2-0 and we go into that week 4-0 against Alabama. But I mean, it's going to be a big test because, A&M, they were what, number 1, number 2 recruiting class this year? Number
1, like the best recruiting class of all time.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good game. Those 2 games are going to be good. I don't want to be greedy and say 2-0, but I'll take one out of them.
So which one do you think will be the loss? Just so I can put one down.
I want to say A&M probably get us, and we just be so the momentum we just be so pissed off and come home, and we might end up whooping the shit out of Alabama. I mean, 2 touchdowns.
Hey, it could. I mean, that's happened before. You know. I mean, what was it? Wasn't it last year we beat A&M, and then they ended up beating
Alabama.
They beat Alabama.
Now Calzada had the game of his life, and Calzada's somewhere now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's at Auburn.
But I mean, looking throughout the schedule, though, I mean, it's tough because after A&M, what is it? Mississippi State.
Well, the next one's Mississippi State, and that was a
At
game.
Mississippi State.
If
That's
Mississippi
at Stark
State hadn't
Vegas.
missed a bunch of field goals last year, we wouldn't have won that one. And they got Will Rogers back.
That's going to be a tough one.
And that's following a dogfight against
Well,
A&M.
and this is a real potential trap game because you're going to be limping into this one.
Yeah.
Because A&M and Alabama, that's going to be two physical games. I could see us tripping up and losing this one. I really could. Just
And
because you're beat.
it's hard to play at Mississippi State too.
Yeah.
Those daggone cowbells, man. Those are horrible.
So, now, did you ever play at Starkville?
No, I think they came to us.
No, well, good. I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
So, Mississippi State's going to be ticked off because they live in Starkville. I'm going to call it a win, but I don't feel good about it.
Mississippi State. I say L because it's on the road after 2 tough weeks back to back. I mean, wow.
I'm gonna say win.
Don't really like us, huh? Because that's some woo-wee.
I'm gonna say a win on that one, mainly because I think Barry Odom has the Pirates number for his offense. I think he
didn't have it last year, but hopefully he gets
no, but I think we got more depth on defense, and especially more speed at linebacker this year. I loved our linebackers last year, but they were kind of slow. Now here's a very possible trap game, I believe. At BYU Cougars.
All right. Now, if you haven't looked up at the schedule, here's the problem with this game is we have not had a bye week yet.
No.
We literally just played A&M, Alabama, and Mississippi State. And Mississippi State is a physical football team up front.
And,
they really are.
And BYU has one of the best offensive lines in college football. And they have a quarterback who's getting a lot of NFL thoughts. People talking about him as a possible high draft pick. They're comparing him to the young guy at the Jets.
Oh,
yeah.
Zach Wilson. He's a real lady killer.
Zach Wilson. Yeah.
I mean, not trying to jump ahead or anything, but looking at our schedule, the strength of our schedule, golly, I'm just like, we got 3 games back to back. Then we got 2 games. We can rest a little bit, and then after you look after that, we got 3 more games like LSU, Ole Miss, and Auburn. I'm like, do they hate us or something? But it's the SEC.
Hey, Big O, this schedule.
Oh my God!
Every team on it was in postseason play last year.
Yeah.
Even Missouri State made postseason play for their lower division.
Right.
They made.
Me and Travis talking on the phone earlier. I'm like, Chad Morris would go 1-11 in the schedule, and he might go 0-12.
Yeah.
Because I could see him losing to Missouri State, but man, you're limping into this game. But I still think we're more talented than BYU.
Yeah, I think we can get BYU.
Look, I'm man, I hate to do
I can't see us losing back to back this year or any of the games.
I'm gonna predict a loss to BYU. I think it's a trap game. I think we're gonna be beat up. I think we're gonna be ready for that bye week. I think they're more talented than we're gonna give them credit for. Pittman is gonna be preaching hard to them that week. Do not take these guys lightly. Because if we do take those guys lightly, they will beat us. And I think it is their homecoming, by the way.
Wow.
Which may tick us off enough
It's homecoming at BYU. It's not that big.
That's right.
It's not.
They not
Dance
doing
with your
too much
sister
partying.
wife.
Yeah.
All right. I was thinking it. I wasn't going to go there, but I was thinking.
Sorry. Sorry.
Like, yeah.
My bad. And then week 8, we got a bye week, which much needed. And to be honest with you, much needed follow-up to that is
Liberty.
Auburn's next.
Oh, Auburn. Gosh.
Now,
Are we
Brian
at
Harrison has
home?
had a rough offseason at
He
Auburn.
did have a rough
Are
offseason.
we
Didn't
at
know if
home or on the road?
We're on the road, and nothing bad ever happens with officiating against Auburn.
Yeah. Oh,
Guys, and we'll be rested and healthy-ish for this game, and I think we'll win. Auburn, I mean, they had so many transfers in the transfer portal, they about recruited me to come play for them.
yeah.
So it was, I think Auburn's going to be the worst team in the SEC West.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, Zach Calzada, who was terrible at A&M last year, except for against Alabama. He played lights out against Alabama, which is probably why they recruited him to Auburn.
Yeah.
But he'll probably be their starting quarterback. I just think, or him or TJ Finley, I just think Arkansas is a better football team, period.
Yeah, I think there's so much turmoil. And I think there's just a lack of talent right now. I think Harsin, he was a big old, I don't know if you know this, he was at U of A for a year? Or Brian
ASU.
Harsin. Huh?
He's at Arkansas State, wasn't he, for a year?
Yeah, Arkansas State for a year. Anyway, but he was a good coach for that time, but he's not doing well there. They're not happy with him. Boosters aren't happy with him. He made some people mad, and they tried to get rid of him this summer, but they wasn't able to. So, or that's last spring. But I predict we're going to win that one.
Well, because especially
we're win a big one on the road, and I think it's going to be against Auburn.
Yeah, especially, if they're not having a great beginning to the season, that seat's they may have already fired him by then.
Yeah.
They're looking for a reason at this point.
Yeah. Now, the next game is the Liberty Flames bringing Hugh Freeze in as coach. They're not a walkover, but do they have enough talent to stay on the field with our Hogs?
Are we home or there?
We're home.
Home.
Arkansas.
Yeah, I agree. Liberty had a great quarterback last year. He's graduated. And with the transfer portal, you don't necessarily have to transfer to somewhere like Liberty to play. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to Arkansas.
I think our L's will come from in conference. I don't think we get any L's outside the conference.
Yeah.
Now, the next week's a fun week. It is LSU.
Oh, LSU?
Coming to Arkansas. So they're coming to Arkansas. Now, we've got a couple LSU transfers starting on our defense, probably. They've got a couple transfer Hogs starting on their defense.
I know who we need to try to run go routes on.
Yeah.
Because they got a couple guys that struggled for us staying with receivers. So, yeah, I mean, they were good. I miss one of them because his run support, but when it comes to pass support, he wasn't all that great. LSU lost a lot of players, a lot of transfers.
They got a new coach.
Who's got a fake Southern accent.
That's right.
Really fake.
Yeah, it was not very good. Like my family. No.
Most of his 2 steps.
And they got a lot of turmoil going on just in that whole athletic department.
Yeah.
Now, if Kelly can keep them from that a little bit, shelter them from all that other junk, maybe. But I think the Hogs win that one. I think this is a time when they're, like Auburn, they're just down. And if you don't jump on them here, who knows what Kelly will end up doing there. But
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, they're always going to be LSU's always going to have talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But they did lose a lot, so I think we'll get this one. There, it's a cute puppy.
Look at there.
This new star of the show.
Sure. What kind of dog is that?
A boxer.
Boxer. Those are good dogs.
I got a Siberian husky, and now I can't wear any black clothes because it's just got dog hair all over.
Wow.
Big O, what do you think? Think they beat LSU?
Oh yeah, I think we get LSU this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels. That was a shootout last year.
How did we lose that? Oh my goodness.
Now, Ole Miss only returns 11 starters, but they bring in one of the best transfer classes in the country. They're replacing Matt Carroll. So what do y'all think?
What I heard, whoever Coral's backup was beating out Dart. So now who knows by that point of the season?
Was this game home or there?
Oh, it's at home.
Us.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't come down to we might as well go for two because we can't stop them. I mean, which Big O, was that the right call? Yes or no last year to go for two?
Go for the win, baby. Go for the win.
I agree. I think everybody agrees. Like, hey, it didn't work. I didn't like the play call, but
yeah, the play wasn't good. But I always like going for the win.
Yeah,
because if we don't go for it, Lane Kiffin, he's going for it.
Yeah, and like that, then that's what Kiffin said at the end of the game because we didn't stop them; they just went for two.
Well,
I mean, but
one of the reasons I have more hope for this game is even though we lost a lot of D-line, from last year, I think our depth is better on the D-line and at linebacker. Our depth is better. And I think we're going to run a little more. I think they're going to get a better pass rush this year. When I've listened to some press conferences and our offensive linemen are talking and they're talking about some of the blitzes that they're throwing at them right now and they're struggling with it. I like hearing that. So I think our defense is going to be better this year. And I think for teams like Ole Miss, that's going to be what we need to make up for the Treylon Burks deal. So I think we win that one too. And then week 13 at the Missouri Tigers. They're trying to make that to be our big rivalry game. It just makes me, I do hate Missouri now, but
I do. I don't like them at all.
Yeah. So I guess it's working. I don't know.
Well, because I think you've got two schools like Arkansas looks at Missouri like they're beneath us.
Yeah.
And then I think Missouri looks at Arkansas and goes, they're beneath us.
Right.
Newsflash, we're not. But yeah, I think it's just both schools just have a sense of superiority over the other one. And I do think Arkansas is a lot better at Missouri in football and basketball.
Missouri hasn't been nobody. They haven't been known since Michael Sam. So who is Missouri? Really?
Yeah. It's been a long time since Missouri's been good at football, and so I think and their quarterback situation was a mess. I don't see Drinkwitz figuring it out. I really don't. And I think Missouri's always going to be known as the team that KJ had his coming out party against because that start he had against them when Felipe Franks was hurt was when he was like, all right, this is it. KJ's the guy. We know it now. KJ's the guy.
I feel a W against Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Travis, what does that have our record at? According to I have our record at
What you have our record at?
Yeah,
Clint, I believe you said undefeated.
I did.
Yeah, I believe you said undefeated.
What I give us 3 losses, 2.
Big O said 1, 2, just 2 losses.
2 losses.
Which I would be tickled pink with. I would.
You said A&M and Mississippi State.
Yep.
And I said 2 losses also. I said Bama and
BYU.
Which either one of those I would be thrilled to death with, because I mean the thing about it is Pittman has built depth. And you know that you have a special quarterback. And that you have an inventive offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator that's very good at game planning. So the ingredients are there. The only thing you don't have that you'd say you don't have is an experienced head coach.
Yeah.
But you got an experienced coach. And I think he knows what he's doing, and Pittman's proved that he can do the job. So
well,
I do think
what surprised me, I told y'all earlier that when my buddy asked me to, we went through the schedule. What surprised me was the question he asked me at first was, do you think we'll win more games than last year? Now, if you don't look at the schedule and you don't think about anything, but all I thought about was hardest schedule we've ever faced. Every team went to like a bowl game or postseason play last year that we're playing against. And every one of them, I mean, like Cincinnati should have been, that in the past, that would have been some kind of walkover team we're playing. It ain't a walkover team. BYU would have been a walkover team. It ain't a walkover team. I'd say Missouri State's still who Missouri State is. Liberty's not a walkover team, right? They were in a bowl game. So if just thinking about all those things, I would think, okay, yeah, with that tough of a schedule, you take away some of those easy wins. Yeah, maybe less wins than last year. But what surprised me was I came out with just as many. And to be honest with you, we can make an argument for every game.
Yeah.
None of us picked to lose the same game.
No, and there was several games there that I would have as swing games, but I think you know what you have, and there doesn't seem to be drama surrounding the program. Like when you used to expect big things out of Houston Nutt, there'd always be a little bit of drama. There's really not. You don't see that. I think this team's just tighter and they're closer. Mm-hmm. You know who your leaders are. You got Bumper Pool on defense, and then you got KJ. Mm-hmm. And I think and you see that. So
well, and like I forget who it was saying the other day. I think Trey Biddy was talking about it. He said your leaders are up the middle on the football field. You got KJ Stromberg on the offensive line. Then you got Bumper Pool and Jalen Catalon on defense. And that's your stud guys. That's your leaders. And they're right there in the middle of the field, seeing both sides of the field, telling both sides of the field what to do. See, I mean, you got to like it. And, man, I hope our predictions are right, or I hope Clint's are right, Big O. I hope he's right on this. But
see, and I don't know enough about Georgia, because I figure Georgia's probably going to win the East.
You don't play them, right?
No, we don't play them. But if I think they'll win the East. So I think it'd be Arkansas versus Georgia in the SEC championship game.
I think even how many of the teams we know Alabama's ranked?
Yeah.
Is Mississippi State ranked?
I don't know I know Ole Miss is, and A&M is.
A&M, us. It's LSU.
I don't think they're ranked, but I mean they're all close to it.
But you think about it, on our side, we got 4 teams that are ranked. just on our side. So you go to their side with Georgia and Florida, and who else on their side?
Well, Kentucky's ranked.
See, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Tennessee, I think, may be ranked, but
the SEC is just.
But I mean, they're not as solid as what.
I mean, I predict.
I should have Googled this. I started like, I was like, it'll be on this site and not have it. But yeah, it's going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy season, and I'm looking forward to it.
No, our conference, I mean, every game's a battle. Every game's a battle. That South Carolina game's going to be a battle.
I predict we finish on top 12.
Yeah. The SEC, Alabama's ranked number 1. Georgia is 3rd. A&M is 7th. Arkansas is 23rd, and Kentucky's 21st. Kentucky's starting to become a pretty good football team. And Ole Miss is 24th. And Kentucky beat us without a quarterback under Chad Morris.
That's right. They did.
Right there.
They had a backup receiver at quarterback.
Now, Big O, we got to talk to you a little bit about basketball when we got you on here.
All right.
So, today, I think a lot of people were kind of surprised with Eric Musselman's starting lineup today. Who all did he start, Travis? I remember Pinion started.
Black.
Pinion, Anthony Black.
Dunning.
A junior. Was he a transfer that started?
Brazel from Missouri.
All I know, all new guys. I've never seen him.
He's a long guy. He's like 6'9". He's real athletic and block shots. And they said he looked really good today. Ricky Council started. He's the guy that they're saying is so athletic, transfer from Wichita State. And then Barry Dunning Jr. He was a 4-star recruit, but he was Mr. Basketball out of Alabama, wasn't it, Clint?
Yep.
He's the one that, like, Isaiah Joe and some of those guys have come in and played pickup games with these guys. And a bunch of them are coming to Musselman and saying, man, we like playing with him. He's a good teammate. He's a good ball player. And so that says something when those guys are coming back saying, hey, we really like that dude. So that was the starters today.
Should we read anything into that, about the starting lineup, or is it just kind of like he probably just picked 5 names out of the hat, go, here, you guys are starting?
What he's probably doing is trying to get a feel and see the different matchups. I'm pretty sure he's going to give about 2 or 3 different matchups while they're down there. But I mean, you never know. You never. I never get hyped over preseason.
Right. Yeah.
I never get hyped over preseason ranking because it means nothing. But they have us ranked number 1 this year. Last year they had 5 different number 1s within a month.
Yeah.
So I think he's just trying to get a feel of the different matchups and different people and what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, you can't get excited because this would be about like me and you playing one-on-one. Yeah, it's a competitive basketball game, but we might have a similar game, Big O, but I don't have all the talent baggage.
Right.
So I'm just saying, it just like you can't read too much into it because I mean, just one of them is a lot better than the other one. So
he played 12 players today.
Yeah.
Which is not Musselman like. He normally sticks to 7 or 8. So I think Big O's right. I think you don't want to judge too much on this because he's going to tighten up that rotation, when the season starts and everything. This is a chance for them to get used to playing together and things like that. Big O, when you were playing, did y'all ever get to go on one of these like foreign trips?
Nah.
I couldn't remember if seemed like Nolan went to.
No, they got like magically whisked away to Fort Worth.
Yeah. Yeah.
They took you all the way to Fort Worth back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had taken back home.
Well, you got to go. You got to play the Final Four in Denver, though.
Woo. I think the furthest we've gone was the Maui tournament in Maui.
Oh, that was a good one.
Yep, my last year.
Yeah, that had to be nice to be able to go over there and do that.
Doing Thanksgiving, and I was able to bring my mom with me. It was nice.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
Well, they get to do that this year too.
Were they going to Maui?
Yeah. They're who is it they play first?
I think Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville. They're playing Louisville first game there. That'll be a good game.
No, Big O. We said that you didn't get to watch the game today, but now Eric Musselman was out there coaching in a t-shirt. Now already dresses down because they used to wear suits back in the day. You had Nolan in suits and boots. And Eric he was first guy to really just wear the polo.
Right.
And then everybody's like, he's getting away with it. Why ain't I doing this? So next thing you know, now you got people out there dressing like Bill Belichick coaching basketball games, wearing hoodies. But no, he was literally wearing athletic shorts and a t-shirt coaching the basketball game.
Because it's probably just like a little scrimmage anyway,
Yeah. But I was like,
well, they did.
Like, this is a game.
They did do their warm up on the beach.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like they were literally, like they said they were on an outdoor court on the beach was where they did their walkthrough.
Man,
did y'all do a lot of outdoor activities with Nolan Richardson? Did it involve him yelling at you, blowing a whistle?
Yeah, we warming up, all right. To hell on sand, yeah. Man, these guys, oh my God.
He at least had some good cookouts for you, right?
Oh yeah, he always did some good cooking, but these guys get to go overseas and get to play. They get the nice facilities. I mean, woo, man, they getting paid now. Oh my
God.
Now there was somebody. No, this is a basketball question. Andre Iguodala made a comment, and as soon as I said, I'm like, next time we have Big O on, I have to ask him about this. So, he basically said that the 2012 Dream Team, which now that team had Carmelo back when Carmelo was balling, LeBron, Kobe. Who else did they have on the team? Kevin Love was their only big. I remember that. But he said that team would beat the Dream Team. And Durant was on it.
I think I like his answer.
Man, I hate when people do that. Really? You got Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. Stop it right there. Then you got Magic Johnson. Really? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop it, people. Stop it. Like I posted something about, the all-time Razorback lineup. And they like, you forgot about this guy and, Joe Klein and this guy. I'm like, oh, stop it, people. It's no comparison. We all played in different eras. Different, you know what I'm saying? But ain't nobody stopping Dream Team one. No. You got, you want to go defense wise, you got Scotty, you got Karl Malone, you got MJ. No.
Well, and they had nobody. No, they had zero. Kevin Love's their center. You've got no one to guard Patrick Ewing, and you have no one to guard David
Robinson. No one to guard Charles Barkley.
No. I'm with you.
I'm really happy that I asked that question. By the way. I really am.
In the Olympics, you can play a zone. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because in the NBA, they wasn't playing zone at all.
Yeah, so try play a zone against Larry Bird if you want to.
Yeah.
So who was the best trash talker? I just got to ask, since you brought up Larry Bird, who was the best trash talker you went up against?
Hakeem Olajuwon.
King was really that good because he seems so humble, like he would never trash talk anyone.
I mean, it's in a joking way. It's not like he be like, I told you, he be like, he'll give you the dream shake and you run it back down the floor. He'll be like, where were you? I shoot you so bad, I lost you.
So it wasn't in that way that it makes you hate him or anything. It was kind of.
Yeah, it's just all, but the most trash talk is Vernon Maxwell.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell just watching those games.
Yeah.
Some of those guys hide it well. Like I wouldn't have thought Hakeem, because, he doesn't, but Vernon Maxwell, he ran his mouth even no matter what.
It in a laughing way, but Vernon doesn't like try to take your heart and soul.
Well, he's one of those probably that's trying to get in your head. He's trying to do the psychology of it, isn't he?
Couldn't work. Never worked.
Never worked.
Nah.
Now, did you ever? Clint was asking about this. We were talking about it. I guess that dream team, that first dream team was the first time they brought NBA players. So how did that fit? Did you ever get a chance to try out for a national team like that, or?
No, Clint asked me that before you came, and I was like, if they just stay with college, I still have to deal with Shaq, Alonzo, Christian Laettner, all those guys that were drafted lottery before me. So, I mean, I know that I would have gave a good challenge. I would have gave a good fight, but, it's pretty much they go by name-wise. I mean, everybody knows Shaq should have been on Dream Team 1, but Christian Laettner was the face of the NCAA at the time,
Yeah.
Of course, they're going to put, that's just how it is. I mean, I would have been honored to try out, but realistically, knowing the guys that were ahead of me, I was like, okay, yeah. But,
Well,
you would have been number one in my heart, Big O.
I appreciate it.
I don't know what it meant. That doesn't get you anything. That and $1 gets you a cup of coffee at McDonald's, but that's about it.
That's right. You're on our Razorback dream team, so that's all that matters.
I appreciate it, guys. I really do.
So Clint has us going undefeated.
I do.
I got us losing to.
And here's another thing that happens. I think if either one of y'all's records is correct, or my record's correct, either one, if they finish 10-2 or 12-0, KJ Jefferson's in New York for the Heisman ceremony.
I agree.
Yeah.
If you're going into the season one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NCAA, you should already be on the Heisman.
Yeah.
Heisman watch list. If KJ develops, if KJ takes another step forward, that's the difference. I mean, that's just it. I don't think people realize how special KJ really can be.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be every bit of Cam Newton special.
Yeah.
And I think he's a better leader than Cam Newton.
I just hate that he's in such a tough conference, Clint. It's just because it's just okay. Say we beat A&M and Alabama, they put them on the map. But then hell, we got Mississippi State coming on the road, and just like we got BYU on the road. I mean, it's hard. I mean, then we got to play. It's hard.
It is hard, but players like that love that challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
No, Big O's right. I mean, all it takes is one loss nowadays, and people will write someone off for the Heisman.
Yeah.
Now, usually it takes more than that, but it takes just one bad game, really.
That's one.
And hopefully he doesn't have that. A lot of that's really going to depend on how these receivers, what they do.
Because if you think about it, every time you lose, it's whose fault? The quarterback.
Oh, yeah. That's who gets the blame.
He can go out and throw 5 touchdowns and 500 yards, but if we lose, that wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Well, people keep saying, like, I want to see Malik Hornsby. I want to see Malik Hornsby. Like, why?
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's another one, Big O, just to kind of replacing Treylon Burks. Malik Hornsby, the backup quarterback, they've been putting him out at receiver. And he's stupid fast. Like he's very fast. And they say he's
don't give him time to get the ball to him. It doesn't matter.
That's right. You're right. But I think they will. And I think Hornsby's going to be a big impact. Like I think they say, Trey Biddy from 24/7 Sports, one thing he talks about is when Hornsby comes in the game, said all the D-backs and all the linebackers are pointing him out. They're aware of him. Now, part of that may be worried about trick play because he can pass.
Right.
But also because they're worried about his speed. He's so daggum fast. They got to worry about him. So it's going to be a fun year. That's all I know. Hog, look, and that's one of the cool things, like we talked about earlier. What's so cool about you, Big O, is you're a fan of these Razorbacks. And one of the best things about being a fan of the Razorbacks right now is everything's going good. Everything's coming up rosy right now, right? We got basketball is looking great. Football's looking great.
Softball, baseball,
Baseball, softball, gymnastics.
You're going to be here for the Alabama game, huh?
Yeah, I'm coming to Alabama. I mean, A&M is back at home, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it back-to-back weekend. That's going to be too much partying right there. So I'm too old for that. So I just take it, and I'd rather be in Fayetteville,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, because, I'm sure they'll love to have you over at Bud Walton, and Eric Musselman love to meet you, and I'm sure all the basketball teams would love to see a legend.
Hey,
it would be good if he can get us to all come back for Midnight Madness.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, no, it would be great because I think Musselman really does embrace the tradition, and he does need you guys back for Midnight Madness. Bring all the legends.
I feel this is the year. I feel this is the year for us.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
And they look like a team today. They really did. I only got to watch bits and pieces, but they looked like a team. You could tell that Devo Davis was almost like the assistant coach over there.
That's what I heard from somebody else too. They said he was
he was really looking like
he on the court.
He looked like a leader. Even on the sidelines, he looked like a leader. So
that's great to hear.
That's good.
But I think everybody felt like Devo kind of took a step back from his freshman year, his sophomore year. But I think he's been a lot quieter, and I think he's been a lot more workmanlike, and I think it's hopefully improved the game.
Kamani Johnson had a good game today too.
Well,
the only other upperclassman.
Travis, I don't take anything. Just
everybody had a good game today.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it'd be like us three going out there playing a peewee team. They would get some in, but at the end of the day, we're just
yeah. Well, big up. Hey, do you have an NFL team?
The Eagles.
Eagles?
Yep.
Fly, Eagles, fly, huh?
That's right.
All right. You've been a fan of it. Well, growing up in Dallas, you were a different cat then if you liked them.
Black sheep of the family.
Huh?
I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm a cowgirl fan.
Yeah, I got a feeling you just probably got annoyed by all the people loving the Cowboys. Like, I don't just like your rivals just to be a jerk. I like it.
When did you start liking them? Who was playing for them?
Jaworski, Reggie White, Reggie Brown in the middle, Seth Joyner,
Randall Cunningham,
Carmichael. I can just go on and on.
He goes back to Jaws, baby.
Yeah.
He goes back to Jaws.
Yeah, Dick Vermeil was the coach,
Yeah.
Well,
I did my job before the one I am now. They had they did like a speaker or motivational speaker was Vince Papale, who was from the movie. And pretty much all he did was like show pictures of him, like, here's me with Bob Wahlberg. I'm Vince Papale. I'm Vince Papale. I did like for literally an hour, just like, hey everybody, I'm Vince Papale.
Well, Big O, I've been born and raised in Arkansas, but I'm a Browns fan. So you can feel bad for me all you want. I don't know if I'm just dedicated or I'm a glutton for punishment or what, but I've liked them ever since Bernie Kosar and
Yeah.
Webster Slaughter. And
man, you really a true friend. You went all the way back to Bernie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I started liking them, man. My family was all Cowboys fans, so I'd kind of root for them a little bit just because my family did, my dad, my uncles, but I wanted my team, I wanted to pick my team, and they were good then, they were making it. Of course, I thought they were good. They were making the AFC Championship game. Of course, then, John Elway's throwing, doing the drive on them and stuff like that. Ernest Biner's fumbling at the goal line or whatever. But I just loved it, man. I love their fans. They'd be in the snow with their shirts off and those dog hats on, Yeah, man. And Webster Slaughter, he wasn't a big receiver, but he'd be no gloves on out there catching, passes in the snow, and that, cold up there in Cleveland. And I just, man, Mike Johnson at linebacker and most of those guys anyway.
Now, I do remember like my first cold weather practice at Arkansas Tech. You saying this about Browns fans remind me. Whenever I was in high school and we'd have cold weather games, I'd always wear a turtleneck underneath my jersey. Mm-hmm. I get to college, it's cold weather. I'll put my turtleneck on. I come out, Jumbo's like, "What the crap are you wearing?" He goes, "Go back in. We don't wear sleeves." And I'm like, you know what I did? I went in, I changed my undershirt. I came out with sleeveless, but because bullying works sometimes.
We had a football coach down here in Camden, and he wouldn't wear sleeves as a coach. Yeah. Like, he'd wear just short sleeves like this, but they played in the state championship game, and it was like 20 something degrees. And he's out there in a polo shirt, khaki shorts.
Yeah, he's tougher than me.
I'm like,
Diego don't like the cold. I remember that.
I had a buddy play for the Bears, and he was like, I said, "Man, you ain't wear no sleeves." He said, "No, we put Vaseline on." Vaseline? Said, yeah, that cold wind would bounce off of it. I said, "Man, I don't care about no Vaseline. Give me some sleeves." He said, "No," because I looked at Michael Singletary, and he didn't have no sleeves, so he's the beast of the defense. So I didn't wear no sleeves either. I said, "Yeah." I don't care who has. I'm wearing sleeves, turtleneck.
That's right.
I'm being warm. That's why
you could be out there in the thermals.
The time I played football and that cold wind came through them ear holes and it'd be whistling, you trying to get your ears warm.
Yeah.
And that's when I told my mom, I said, "Mama, I'm done with football. I can't do it no more."
Well, see, nowadays they got all that Under Armour stuff and everything. Back in the day, we didn't have none of that. So, like, we'd wear hoodies. We'd wear hoodies underneath our football pads.
That's why players wearing and thigh pads and pads and stuff. We took the elbows and licks as they were. Now they cushion.
Yeah.
Everything just so.
Yeah. Well, Big O, man, we appreciate you so much for joining us again, man. It was fun, as we knew it would be. We love talking football with you. We love talking anything with you, but this was cool talking football and getting your predictions. We'll revisit these as the season goes and kind of see how things are going. But we appreciate you big time, man. And hey, man, it's the biggest podcast there is. You got Big C, Bigger T, and the one and only Big O. I mean, who's doing a Razorback preview bigger than that?
Nobody.
I know. I mean, it's not athletic or anything, but being with school starting, I want everybody just, pray for everybody's safety, with college starting and all these, just pray for the kids, the staff members, and everybody, it's rough. My grandkids' first day was today, so, it's just nerve-wracking, but, everybody just lift our country up in prayer, man. Let's just keep everybody safe and get these Hogs and get this championship, baby. It's our year. I feel like, and it's going to be a lot of championships in all the sports.
Let's go.
You guys once again having me. I mean, I love it. I mean, anytime, it's always fun. Clint gave me a bunch of laughs before you got on, of course, T, dead late. He gave me a couple of stories, but
I told him, I said, you're that friend, like, okay, I got it. Okay.
But I really
Which I love you. I love you, man. It's been 35 years. I know how you are.
I deserve it. Hey, I had 3 obligations tonight, and I was not gonna miss this. I missed one of them, and I cut the other one short. So I'm good. But no, seriously, Big O, thank you so much, dude. And we'll talk with you a little bit more but I'm gonna stop recording here. Once again, like and share this podcast with your friends, your best friends, with your enemies. I don't care. Like Big O said, folks going back to school. Hey, have a great school year. Stay safe. Lots of things out there. Look, COVID's rearing its head a little bit more and things like that. We don't want none of that. So let's stay safe out there, okay? And just y'all have a great week. Root on those Hogs. What do you think, Clint?
12-0, undefeated, natty.
Let's do it.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta fight.